Good morning, everybody. So we're going live on here today. I know we said we were going to go live on YouTube, but YouTube's having a morning. It's probably the best way I could describe it. So going to be following you guys on my laptop. But we're going to be talking about a couple of different things today. For those of you who don't know, I'm Ben Murphy. This is Deuce Kirk. We do have a YouTube channel. It's called Living in Lexington, and that's where we're really going to go live from here on out. Again, we're still young to this channel, so it's got a few glitches here and there, but most things do. And so if you do get on here and you have questions, just type them in. I'll try to keep track of them. But what these lives that we're going to do from here on out, we'll do them once a month. Talk about the market, talk about what's going on here in Lexington, and we'll even talk a little bit about kind of surrounding areas. But also today, since it is one of our first lives that we're ever doing, we're going to talk a little bit more about us and what we do and why you should definitely work with us when you are in the mood to sell your home or looking to purchase that next home. So, Deuce, I know the first question most people ask is, who are you? Because this is technically my Facebook page.
Who are you?
So, Deuce, why don't you tell them a little bit about yourself?
So, we run a pretty efficient little real estate outfit here. Been doing it for 20 years. Been around Lexington Kentucky that whole time. A lot of it, 90% of it out of Lexington. But now we're spreading out and have been for the past year or two outside of Lexington. Basically, we just work hard to sell your property for top dollar and work hard to get you a deal on the buy-in. And throughout the whole process, we focused on working with sellers and built a business from there. And we've done all right. And whenever you're ready, we can make it happen.
Yeah, and I'll be honest with you, we are in a shifting market, and I'm going to kind of go over some of the stats to prove that to you. And having a team, especially with a guy like Deuce on it, who's been around the block, and he's seen just about every market you can imagine at this point. And, I mean, it's going to make a huge difference. And so I know it's very, very important. We've got a listing appointment Saturday. We're going to go talk to this woman who's trying to sell her house and buy another house. And having a duo like us is going to be huge for you. Most people have one real estate agent. You'll get two. You'll get myself helping you purchase that next home. Deuce is, he's just going to sell it. He knows what to do. He knows how to do it right. And so we'll definitely make it happen for sure. But all right, let me talk to you guys a little bit about the market right now. I know we're kind of jumping right into it. We focus mostly on Lexington. We are at a Lexington office, but I think my first 3 deals were actually outside of Lexington. I think the first one was in Wilmore, another one was in Richmond, and then I think I had a listing in for sales. So my first 3 were all in that surrounding area. So he's 100% accurate on that. So Lexington right now, average sales price is in $361. In August, it was $350. So sale price is going up. Sale prices go up every month. So
it's still good. People are worried about the market shifting and prices dropping and the bottom falling out. That's not going to happen. It is shifting. Things are changing. But really, it's kind of just getting back to normal, where the crazy put your house on the market at 10 a.m. and have 20 offers by noon. That's over, man. But the market's still good. It's just not wide open like it was there for a year or two. It's getting back to normal right now. And some people don't know what normal is because they never. Real estate agents say is they've not been in it, and it's changing, but it's still fine.
Right. So here's
don't need to panic.
So here's an example. I've got stats from last year and this year for this month. So sold listings in September this month was 381 in Lexington. Last year it was 488. So that's just a clear-cut example of the shifting market. And even from month to month, in August there was 414 sold homes in Lexington. The last month was 381. So it's slowing down. I talked to a bunch of agents at our last monthly meeting, and everyone's just like, it's so slow right now. And I think that basically describes it. So average days on market this past September, 19 days. That's across the board though. So you still have the move-in ready homes are gone and within a week, but then you have a lot of homes that are just sitting. So last year at this time it was 15 days. So it's, year to year you can see that it is shifting.
Not that much.
Not that much.
19 days is still good.
Right. No, 19 days, that's 3 weeks. Like you're selling your home. So
it shifted a little, 5 days,
it's
4 days on average, but
that's across 380 listings. Like that's a hard number to
not that.
to gauge, if that makes any sense.
No need to panic.
No. When I tell buyers, if your home's move-in ready, if the home is move-in ready, we got to get there in like 48 hours. We've got to at least get in there to see if it's something that you're interested in, because it's gone in 72 hours. I mean, that's what you're still averaging. I mean, you're averaging 4 or 5 days tops on your listings.
Yeah, that with them, some of the more expensive ones are taking a little bit longer, but if it's under.
Why do you think you're averaging like 4 or 5 days versus the average 19?
Well, for one thing, there's a couple reasons. Number one, we got a full-blown marketing plan and system and a strategy that we use that's proven to work. We're not just guessing at what we're doing. We got experience in marketing and advertising and putting the house out there in the market and putting it in the right places where people can see it quick. And we've just got a system and a plan and a strategy, and we stick to it. And we do the same thing over and over and over because it works. We got a full-blown, there's 40-step marketing plan right here in this book that we use every time. It works. I mean, that's all there is to it. It's just a system, and we stick to it.
That's what I'm telling you. Like, that's the experience. He's found the system that works in all markets. Some markets it works a little bit better maybe than others, but like this last market, you touched on it. I mean, you list your house, it's gone in 4 hours. but this system is still, even in a buyer's market, this system still works. Because in a buyer's market, I don't even think we're in a buyer's market yet. Because in my mind, a buyer's market means there's few buyers and there's tons of homes.
Yeah, we're not a buyer's market.
No, we're still.
It's just getting kind of back to normal a little bit.
Yeah,
that's kind of what's going on. But
so there's homes out, but the only homes that are selling are the ones that are move-in ready. Don't need a lot of love. Don't need that tender loving care. Don't need updates. Those are the ones that are selling. If they're in a great location, good school district, they're gone. But they're the homes that need a little bit of work, maybe are a little bit outside of Lexington. They're sitting, and that's okay. But again,
if it's priced right, though, they're still selling. I mean, the ones.
Yes.
What I'm seeing is there's some properties that are being priced at X when at that price it should be perfect. A year ago, that price might have worked. Today, it's got to be perfect at that price, and some of them are not priced according to the condition of the property. So you might need to sharpen the pencil up a little bit on some of those numbers. And even though the property may need a few little TLC or need a little something, it's okay if it's priced right. Somebody's still going to buy it.
Yeah, no, that's it. And it's all about because that's the number one question you probably get. What's my home worth? The first day I got here, I asked that question, just in one of our trainings, and Bo Smith, he said, whatever someone's willing to pay for it.
That's right, man.
That's what your home is worth, and so that's tough. So, but markets are different. Whenever I work with out-of-state buyers, I always talk about, hey, do you have to live in Lexington, or do you want to check out Georgetown, Versailles, Nicholasville, Winchester? That's what I just bought a house in Winchester. It took me 25 minutes to get here. But the house that I bought would probably be $40,000 more here in Lexington. But because I went to Winchester, it's minuscule. So guys, Georgetown, the average sales price $315. About $45K difference in average here in Lexington. Average days on market though, 35. The demand is definitely here in town, so that's just kind of a key point for you. If you don't mind the drive to Lexington, you're probably going to get a great deal for a house. Like, does that make sense?
Yeah, well, that's it. That's what the president of Elbar had said the other day at one of our meetings over here. He said, look, today's business is outside of Lexington. And he's right, really. I mean, there's still stuff going on in Lexington, but Lexington's kind of sold out, and it's, Lexington's kind of tough right now. So, but you can go outside of Lexington, and it's still going on, and you can still get a deal, and you can still, Lexington's fine, but the market, the reason he said that is because the market is shifting and changing, and you do kind of have to go outside of Lexington right now to get the super deals.
Right. So Georgetown, again, compared to the 380 sold listings in September, 80 in Georgetown. So not a ton of demand. So if you're looking for maybe that buyer's market demand, Georgetown sounds like that's a buyer's market right now. There was 212 active listings in September and only 80 of them sold. Again, kind of give you an idea of what's going on in Georgetown. So Lexington's definitely the hot market still. It's more of a normal market, but if you're looking for maybe more of a buyer's market, go north a little bit, especially in Georgetown. It's definitely more of that buyer's market mentality.
You just let us know what you want. We'll find it. We'll make it happen.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. So it's just, I guess, what I'm saying is Lexington's definitely doable. You just got to be ready to go. Now, if you haven't checked out our channel yet, go to YouTube, check our Living in Lexington channel. I talk about the process of buying a home. One of the first key steps is getting pre-qualified with a lender or a bank. That needs to be done before you even go look at a home. Because, the average lender probably takes a day or two to get you qualified. Not our guy, but the average lender or bank takes you a day or two. If the home is move-in ready and everybody wants it, the house is not going to be there by the time you get it. So
you got to be ready.
It's a heartbreaker, and I've seen it happen too many times. Because that's usually one of the first questions I ask a buyer whenever I meet them. Have you been pre-qualified? And the answer is usually no. We got to get that done. If you're trying to get to Lexington, that needs to be the first thing that happens. 100%, without a doubt. And so I put a note here. It's like, don't let the numbers fool you. The sold listings in Georgetown, the average days on market, it's still the same. The move-in ready homes are still flying off the market in Georgetown. It doesn't matter where you are, kind of in the area, Nicholasville, Jessamine County. I think it's still moving relatively quick. This is just more of a generalization of that. Same thing with like Jessamine County, guys, ladies and gentlemen. 327,000. It's a 3% increase from last year. Median sale price $262. It's a 6% increase from last year. Average days on market's 20. Average days last year was 19. So that's kind of staying steady in Jessamine County. Active listings though are up. 122 this year. That's 23% up from last year. So there's a little bit of a migration going to Jessamine County right now. So again, like buyer-wise, Georgetown's the buyer's market if you're looking for a buyer's market, especially if you work at Toyota or one of those other big groups that are out there. Just check out Georgetown is what we're saying. Georgetown's kind of going under the radar right now. Everyone's kind of moving to Lexington. Jessamine County's up. Sold listings, though, are down 40% from last year, 50. So they had 122 active listings, only 50 sold.
Where's that?
That's Jessamine County. So
well, that's a sign of the times. Those ones that didn't sell might be priced a little too high.
Right, which is kind of crazy because they're only averaging 20 days on the market. So maybe we had some bleed over from maybe August to September or September to October. But, that's still, that number kind of jumped at me when I saw that and I was reviewing the numbers, that they only like half, less than half. That's 45% of them actually sold. So they're probably priced too high. That's the number one reason most homes don't sell. They're priced too high.
Some of that could be new construction that's taking a minute.
Right.
That could be, messing numbers up a little bit. But
I didn't think of that either. I'm trying to think too. So 50, yeah. No, that's just tough. So Woodford County, those are the last numbers I ran, just at least for this, our first video. Average sale price $300,000, so that's $60,000 less than what you're paying in Lexington, but it's a 9% increase from last year. So the theory from buyers out here, I'm going to wait for the sales prices to come down. Ladies and gentlemen, I hate to break the news to you. They have gone up consistently for 122 months straight. That's 10 years.
They're not going to. I mean, people have an idea that it's going to crash or something, and the bottom's going to drop out. I don't think. I mean, there could be parts of the country where that happens. Historically speaking, Lexington, Versailles, Nicholasville, Georgetown has all been pretty solid. Central Kentucky has been pretty solid, and I mean, I don't really see that big panic, price drop, bottom falling out kind of situation. I don't see that happening really.
Yeah,
people that are interested in buying need to go on and do it. I mean, you know, but what are you waiting on?
Yeah. Well, we're waiting for the interest rates to come down too.
That ain't gonna happen. They might come down. I mean, they're up a little bit, and they could drop a little bit in the next year or so. But in the big scheme of things, just go on with it, man, and get it. Because if you wait a year or two, okay, well, that house you could have bought today, in a year or two, it's 5, 7, 10% more than it is today.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so if it's $300,000 house and it's 10% more in 2 years, well, that's $30,000. Did your 7 or 8% interest versus 5% interest, did that 2 or 3 spread on interest, did that cost you $300,000? I mean, $30,000? No.
I hope y'all are following that, because I mean, look, Woodford County, guys, 9% increase 1 year. So in 2 years, it could be up 20%.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know what the financing is going to be.
On a $200,000 house, that's $40,000.
Right.
Okay. In 2 years, if you're waiting on the interest rate to come down, that 2 or 3 point spread on the interest rate on a $200,000 house is not going to be $40,000.
Now think of it this way too: you buy a house today, $200,000. In 2 years, it's $240,000. You got it locked in at what? It's between like 6 and 7% right now. So say you get it at a 6%, 6.5% interest rate. In 2 years, you got $240,000. The market changes. Interest rates come down. Say they come down to 3%. Refinance.
Yep.
Now you've refinanced a house that you bought at $200,000. It's worth $240,000. You've refinanced your house and your payment by half. Like, ladies and gentlemen, that's where the mindset is, you know.
Got to get creative on the financing. Just like Ryan, our man, he's got some creative, you know, he can get you in at around 5 right now on a buy down, and you got to get creative. And
yes.
And, you know, you can always sell later, refinance later. It's like what you say. It's you know, if you're renting, that's 100% interest.
Yeah, no, I was going to say, he took the words right out of my mouth. Ladies and gentlemen, interest in renting is 100%, and you get none of that back when you walk away. You get nothing. Whereas, say you buy...
own something, you buy it.
Yes.
You're still going to be good. You're going to walk away with money. Yeah, with interest rates going up and some of the things that are changing might affect it a little bit, but you're still going to be in the good, and it's still going to be a profitable thing, and it's still going to be... I mean, it's the reason why... You know, people have bought and sold real estate for the last 100 years, 200 years. I don't know. It's been a long time, and there's reasons why. Because I don't know, man. That's Warren Buffett.
Yeah, no, that's true. You know, the one thing they're not making any more of is land. So just think of it this way, ladies and gentlemen. I know, because I'm a first-time home buyer myself. The house that you paid for, I've seen it. I'm sure costs similar to what I just paid for a house that's probably like half the size. And that seems unfair. That seems like what it is. But this is also reality. You know, this is what it is.
Well, if you don't buy a house today,
right,
in 20 years you're ready to buy. Well, that house you could bought today for $300, what's $600 in 20 years? And it's, you know, it's
well, and it's kind of, think of it as a not necessarily a game, but it's a strategy. You buy a starter home. That's why they call them starter homes.
Just get started. Just get one and get started.
It's not going to be pretty. If you find something that's pretty, that's in your price range for your starter home, fantastic. Just like myself, my wife and I, we were able to find something that we could afford. We liked it. We went outside of Lexington to find it because we found a deal. And in 5 years, I mean, on average, we're going like up 6% every year. In 5 years, I mean, ladies and gentlemen, that house is going to be $60,000 more than what I paid for it. And after 6 years of paying off, we're going to knock off a third of that price just off what we're paying for. So we do decide to resell. I mean, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to cash in. We're going to upgrade that next home to that next home. And that's how the real estate market works in your favor. So if you're renting and you want to buy, call me. I'm the buyer agent. He'll help sell the home when you're ready, and we'll make that plan. We'll give you that game plan of what you need to do. But long term, it's a long term plan for your finances. I mean, that's the American dream too, is owning a home. I mean, I feel like that's one of the foundations of our
real estate wins, man.
Yeah.
The stock market, it's up and down and kind of crazy. Real estate can be up and down, but if you look at historical price of real estate versus the historical stock market, real estate, you make a lot more money there than you do in the stock market.
Yeah, no, absolutely. No, and that's it. But that's why we like doing this, because it ultimately,
it just works, man.
It works, and we help you. We're ultimately helping everybody, and that's what kind of drew me to real estate. I've worked in sales. He's worked in car sales. I worked in door-to-door knocking. Without a doubt, when I joined Deuce's team and joined real estate, it's the first time I actually felt like I was selling like a true positive service that I knew was actually going to help you in the long run. Every person that I've helped purchase their first home, I've worked with tons of first-time home buyers over the last year and a half, and I know financially it's just going to benefit you.
It just makes sense, man.
No, yeah, especially, and we can talk more about it if you want to talk one-on-one with us. We can definitely break it down even more financially, what that makes sense. But I mean, like I said, just looking at the numbers from year to year, I mean, Woodford County, 9% increase. That's a lot of money, and I mean, I don't know if it's going to do a 10% increase every single year. I mean, that's impressive that it even did in 1 year.
If you bought a $200,000 house, it's worth, $19,000 more now.
Yeah. So, I mean, finishing off with Woodford County, active listings are up 18%. There's only 51 listings in September, but it's up. There's more listings now. Sold, 13 compared to 32 from last year. So that's a 60% drop. So there is some strategy when it comes to buying a home near the Lexington area for sure. And I've taken buyers to a $250,000 house in Lexington and then taken them to Woodford County. And we looked at a $250,000 house. You're sitting on like a third of an acre. The house is probably about 1,000 square feet bigger. and it's in a great area. So just consider those things when you're looking. And even if you're looking up in Louisville, I know I got a lot of Louisville friends who might see this. Check out the counties surrounding Jefferson County. You'll be shocked at how much more you'll get just taking one step outside the county line. I mean, and taxes. Like your taxes every single year will be
a little bit less.
Will be much. Yeah, mine are much less compared to the homes I was looking at in Lexington. And again, that goes back towards
if you can go outside Fayette County a little bit.
Right.
The numbers will work to your advantage a little bit, and it's just a little bit better deal for you if you can do it. And some people can't, and they don't want to, and that's I get it. But you get a little bit more bang for your buck outside of Fayette County. But Fayette County's awesome. I've lived here my whole life, so. It's still good. It's just a little bit harder right now.
Yes. No. And it's staying relatively consistent. Again, 400 some odd listings this year compared to 415 last year. So, I mean, it's still staying relatively consistent.
Is that just in the month of September?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I try to get October, but October won't officially release until we hit November. And we'll do a follow-up live where we'll talk about the market again. We'll talk about what's going on, and we'll try to do a little bit more education as well, just to kind of, again, help you all, because that's why we're here. That's why we do this, and that's why we love it. To kind of finish up our live, we're kind of, let's see what time we're at. It had a time on it.
10:33.
Oh, there we go. So for the last few minutes, I do want to talk about our channel, ladies and gentlemen. If you haven't checked it out yet, I'll leave a comment here. I'll pin a comment with a link. Go check it out. It's really, really cool. We do talk about real estate, but I also talk about what it's like actually living here. What makes living in Lexington, Kentucky very, very unique. And if you grew up in Louisville and Lexington like I did, I understand the major differences. between the two. Louisville is very, very large and very, very spread out. Lexington's large but compact.
Closer together.
It'll take you 20 minutes to go 6 square miles, whereas you could drive outside of Louisville 20 minutes and you might go 20 miles. So just kind of think of it that way, but we're also got 300,000 people living in about a 7 square mile radius. You know, go check out our video. We do talk about pros and cons. I have a video called "Don't Move to Lexington," which it's very funny. But we just talk about what we deal with while living here. But I also talk about a lot of cool stuff. Posted a video on Monday. Went to Bear Wallow Farm. Have you ever been out there?
What's it called?
Bear Wallow Farm.
No.
It's down in Nancy, Kentucky. It's about an hour and a half drive, and it's kind of like Eckert's Orchard, but it's Eckert Orchard like times 4. It's very, very large. It's really cool. They had pig racing. You have a hayride. You can go pick a pumpkin. The pumpkin patches are massive compared to anything I've ever seen before. It's a really, really cool experience. But I also do Joella's and Dave's Hot Chicken review. You've had Joella's? Have you had Dave's yet? Do you like dry rub seasoning kind of?
Yeah.
You like Dave's then. So that's the major difference. I didn't pick one or the other, whether I liked either or, because I'm a fried chicken fanatic. I'll eat any fried chicken you put in front of me. But I did like Dave's because it was kind of a more of a dry rub seasoning sauce, and it was really good. I enjoyed it, and they both were relatively the same price. So, but definitely go check out the YouTube channel. I'll go ahead and pin it here in a second, just so that way you all can go check it out whenever you do see this. It's really cool, and if you live in Lexington, I would love ideas to basically go film, because there's a lot that goes on in this area. There's a lot of businesses that make our area unique. I've been trying to get to Keeneland. I don't know if I'm going to get out for fall meet before it ends. I think this weekend's the last weekend, isn't it? Mm-hmm. I'm going to try. I'll do a review about Keeneland. I've been to Keeneland. I love Keeneland. It might be tough this year, but because I was in the process of moving everywhere. But definitely check out the videos. You know, we do talk about real estate, talk about neighborhoods, we'll talk about subdivisions. That's the next video that'll come up on Friday, top neighborhoods in Lexington, which kind of leads me to the last point I'm going to make. I'm going to do a series of subdivisions in all of Lexington, and I will do Georgetown, Versailles, Winchester, Nicholasville. It's going to be a long, long time for me to get all those videos out, but it's just more information. If you're considering moving to this area, or you know someone that's considering moving to this area, send them our channel. It's going to talk all about Lexington, both real estate and just the social life, cultural life. I went to Thursday Night Live, did a short video about Thursday Night Live. That's fun. Actually, he had his birthday at Thursday Night Live this year. His wife surprised him on that one.
Lexington's a cool city all the way around. Really. Yeah,
it's a very different city, but if you're watching this video, guys, we appreciate it. Make sure you go like and subscribe our channel. That helps us get the content out there. And as always, we're here to help whenever you're ready. If you know anybody that needs help, tell them to reach out to us. We'll get ready to get to work.
Appreciate it.
I don't know how to turn this off. There it is.